Hello, my name is Craig Carver, and this is level 1 of Scraps, the fuel station. In this level, the player, or scrapper, will find themselves at the entrance of a burning fuel station. In order to progress to the next level, the player will have to overcome obstacles in order to fix a broken down generator, in order to provide the much needed energy for the fuel pumps to work. At the beginning, the player will be met with a looted storefront and text stating that maybe the barrels will assist in setting off the sprinkler systems, giving hint that the player will need to use the gravno in order to lift and throw the handy explosive barrels into the flame. This will set off the sprinkler system over that flame, allowing the player to traverse through the area. The generator is eventually found, broken in the third room in the corner. The scrapper will be required to search the remaining rooms for the remaining parts of the machine. Deeper and deeper into the burning inferno, the player will have to carry one by one each part of the machine. Using the appropriate tactics to traverse is strategically essential, whether it's finding a singular path through or around a room, or simply putting out specific fires in order to make a path. The player will be forced to jump and crawl through a maze of blazing, looted store shelves in order to reach the end. At the end of the final room is where the player will find the final piece of the generator. Once the player grabs it, they will need to jump over obstacles in order to secure its final place on top of the generator. Although this may sound easy, one of the rooms may prove to be more than that, for the player will need to think outside the box in order to get through the blazing room. For instance, the player may be required to throw objects across the room in order to get through to the next room successfully. Once the generator has been snapped into place, the player will be free to traverse outside and across the vacant parking lot into the next level and even closer to the bastions.
In this level, designed by myself, Aladdin Vicuna, you will be entering the abandoned laboratory. The front door will be locked, and you will have to find another way in, which is a piece of sheet metal on the side of the building. Once you're inside, you go through the lobby room, traverse the cargo shipments, and avoid the toxic water before opening the next door, which will break halfway up. Then after, you're going to enter through the toxic barrel room. Here you'll have to move a few of the barrels out of your way to get to the toxic water room, in which you will have to place some sheet metal over the water in order to get over it. Then you'll enter the debris room, which you'll have to get past by crouching under a table and getting by the cargo containers. Then you'll need to build your own staircase to get up. After that, you'll be on the second floor, and you'll have to find the key card in order to get through the next door, which is behind a glass. Once you get past the glass, you will pick up the key card, and then you have to run back to the door. And once you get to that door, pressing E will open it. Once the door is open, you get into the next room, where you will have to grab the sheet metal and place it over the toxic water again, past the barrel, in order to get over it. Once you put the sheet metal down, you can jump over the water and hopefully not kill yourself in the process. Then to your left is the second key card on the shelves. You go around the corner and open the door to the last room. Once you're in this room, you need to find the flux capacitor, which is in the other corner of the room. Once you pick that up, you just have to bust out of the laboratory via the window. And once you are out of the window, you have completed the level. And then you'll be off to the next one.
Through this level. Oh, Jeremy Richards here. This is my level. It's an abandoned facility. It was meant to be something that was supposed to be high up in the mountains or caverns, some sort of abandoned facility or laboratory. As we go along here, we see a bunch of fallen pipes and fallen debris that the player has to bypass to get to the entrance of the level. Once we the entrance level isn't too far in, so we just have to bypass all the junk. Once we get to the level, I want it to be maze-like, although while being maze-like, not actually being a maze, forcing the player to go into where they're supposed to. So as we saw there were 3 paths available, 2 of them blocked. It forces the player to take this one path. As we take this path, we see the generator. We know that we're probably not going to be able to pick it up. We interact with it, and we come back and we see platforms that weren't there before. These platforms the player can use to jump up to access parts of the level that they weren't able to before. Going off into the corner, we see the system prompts the player to say, hey, maybe you can pick this up and use it to move past where you're able to before. Player does so. Moving along, they see a breadcrumb. Well, let's collect it. Why not? What's over here? Let's see. You see the edge of the generator, even without going all the way back, so you know it's there. Go interact with it. And then moving over here, we see more force fields. Now, had they not interacted with the generator, they wouldn't have been able to cross this gap. As you saw, the player just died. So you really need to interact with the generator. Since the player has, it's a pretty straightforward level and process of design. Here's a nice little trick. The player can fall down the stairs. They think there's stairs and there's not. But as you see there, you looked at the bottom of the stairs, there's a wall, there was something blocking it, forcing the player to go grab the tank and use it to get down to the bottom. Once at the bottom of the facility, it's meant to be a basement level that was flooded. And it was, again, supposed to be maze-like, confusing, disorient the player without actually allowing them to take any wrong turns. See where the player goes, it's going to lead them back to where they're supposed to, and it's just different paths to get to the same place. If the player turns to one side, you see that there's the other generator, and you cannot make a wrong turn here. You see, it's just going to lead you back to where you're supposed to go. If you haven't gone the right way the first time, it will take you to where you are supposed to go this second time. It's only meant to feel confusing. You come out here, you see the last few of these energy fields that you have to make through. And the awesome, unique design of these fields, the triangular pattern, actually makes it so that the player needs to use a little bit of mechanical skill in order to jump from platform to platform, because if you're too far out, the platform narrows in.
This level is the factory level, designed by Bryson Barthol. The first obstacle you will come into contact with is a force field barring your entrance. In order to get past the force field, you have to use the grav null to pick up a battery and put it in the battery socket. Next, you'll enter the catwalk area. The catwalk area has a gap that you will not be able to jump unless you extend the catwalk. In order to do this, you will need to use the pressure plate that's on the catwalk itself. Once you've done that, you'll need to continue down the stairs, and in front of you there will be 2 more battery circuits. Complete those circuits with the batteries that are hidden in that level, and you will continue outside. Outside, there will be a plethora of different sized bricks. You will need to find the correct one in order to push down the pressure plate. Entering the next factory building, you will find a hole in the floor. That hole in the floor is the entrance to the sewers. When you go down there, there will be a pressure plate as well as a circuit that you need to complete. Upon exiting the sewers, you will face your last task. There are 2 circuits that need to be completed, as well as a grinder, i.e. the pressure plate, that needs to be filled with materials. 5 small bricks should do. After filling the pressure plate with the 5 bricks and completing the circuit with the 2 batteries provided, you will be able to exit through the force field.
The final level here was created by myself, Tim Ackward. My first mechanic is bridge platforms, which can be used to cross gaps that the player wouldn't normally be able to with jumping alone. There is a bit of a problem with them, and that is that they can't be easily rotated. I added boxes to allow the player to use those rather than the platforms if they so chose. Second mechanic is these batteries, which when put on a panel, like so, open the door. My friend missed there. The bridge platforms aren't easy to rotate because of how the grav null pulls objects. I tried to find a workaround for this, but there was nothing that I came up with that would help solve the issue. In this room there are 3 small closet type areas, and they have the different building materials, boxes, platforms, so the player can use what they see fit. The original idea was to have the player build a long bridge using 2 of the bridge platforms and some boxes to make a support in the middle, but that's not completely necessary. In this last room, there's actually a glitch that happens that causes the battery to fall through the back of the thing meant to stop it. And so my friend just jumps around. And there's the battery on the other side where it shouldn't be. And that one actually has a wall that's knocked down. And that was because in this next room there was just a battery sitting in front of the panel, as you're about to see. There's a battery just sitting in this room that could be used to just toss across the gap. And another unfortunate incident happens there, where the battery is bounces off the platform, so my friend goes back to get a different one, which luckily he still has. And then he tries to jump over and does not succeed. So again, he just jumps across, which isn't necessarily meant to be able to be done, but in this case it is arguably for the best so that he can complete the level. And that is it for my level.